Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome finally to the first episode of Musically Mindful. This is a project that I've had in the works for I don't even know how long. For my friends that know me, know that I've been talking about doing it for however long that I have been. And I'm glad that it finally feels like the time to do so, that I'm confident and comfortable enough, and that I'm also just taking a chance on doing something that I think will benefit me and benefit other people as well. Um, if you don't know me, I'll introduce myself. My name is Mike Renzetti, and I am a big advocate for mental health as well as other things. But the entire precedence of this podcast is going to be to discuss mental health um, in the music scene, around the music scene, with the musicians and the people behind the scenes that make it all happen. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what these conversations yield. And I'm really excited to just drive this conversation forward. You know, mental health is something that is extremely pertinent in all of our lives, whether we are open about it or closed off to it, whatever capacity that we are in it. It's important, and it's something that we need to talk about more, particularly within the music scene. I think that it's something that we need to discuss, and people need to give their insight into the aspects of their lives that we might not know about. I'm a big believer in doing things that you're passionate about and talking to people. Open dialogue, music, mental health are all passions of mine that I'm looking forward to finally putting all into one and doing this podcast. My intentions are simply to do right by the people that come on to talk, create a safe space for the people that choose to bear parts of themselves, and have a willingness to learn and a willingness to listen, because mental health isn't easy. It's difficult and it's challenging, and some days are really hard, and all of our lives are different, but we're all the same because we're all human. And I don't know what's going to happen with any of these episodes. I don't know how long they're going to go. I don't know how what level of insight the conversations are going to have, but I have an incredible feeling that this will yield really good things for the people that come on to talk, for the people that choose to watch. It's just going to bring us all closer together. It's going to give us all perspective. And I'm really, truly grateful that I've gotten to a point in my personal journey where some of the things that I say, people want to listen to. And for anybody who does know me, you know that I make mental health related videos in the mornings, and I share poetry and things of that nature. And I'm consistently working on evolving my own capacity for other people in terms of mental health. I've hosted seminars at music festivals and kind of become a surrogate therapist in ways for people, or at least have really cultivated this desire and maybe ability to open myself up for other people to do the same with me. And I think people are comfortable enough with me that they can share honestly and openly. And it's become one of the most fruitful ventures of my life, is just being me and being open and having these conversations. And I think that creating this platform and making something of my own that we can share together, that isn't just gonna be my own, it's ours. I want this project to be a community, and I want people that come on to feel welcome. I want people that listen to feel like they're heard and they can input. I want to feature my friends and artists and musicians and people that clean up the trash at venues. Everybody, any capacity of somebody that's involved or has a passion for music is welcome here. And even people that don't have a passion for music are still welcome. And hopefully this will eventually graduate into more and more types of conversations and more mediums of life and more avenues of personal endeavors and human experience. I've been really fortunate to live a checkered life. And that might sound odd, but I've experienced a lot of things in my life, a lot of highs, a lot of lows. And I want to share some of that with people. You know, some people are able to relate to darkness that they've overcome. And me personally, I've had my fair share, and I'm looking forward to divulging some of that from me and also letting other people do the same. The people that I plan on having conversations with are guys that are on the road all year, away from their families, away from their wives, girlfriends, children. And some days they don't even know what town they're in when they wake up. That's a lifestyle that a lot of us aren't really able to comprehend. And giving those people a place where they can let that go for an hour or 2 hour, however long these episodes end up being, they just have a safe space to vent and talk and bring things that they want to into the forefront and show the people that believe in them who they are. I want people to be able to come on here and be vulnerable. I want people to feel safe. I want people to feel that they can talk to me just like they can talk to anybody else. And hopefully, a lot of what they say actually is talking to you. Maybe eventually this will all kind of become a symbiotic, cohesive project for us all. Like I said before, the real reason I want to do this is because I want to drive the conversation of mental health forward and more into the forefront. And if I can do my best to give back by doing that, or give back to a community that's given so much to me, if it was not for live music, I wouldn't be the person that I am. I wouldn't have the friends or the family. I wouldn't have traveled the country as much as I did, or have progressions in my own life, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and otherwise. So, as somebody who's just a fan of music and a fan of people, I'm looking forward to trying to simply be human within this project and do what I can to help the other people that I love and that I care about, because it's something that I can do and it's something that I want to do. And I've been extremely lucky to have support from friends and musicians alike in bringing this idea to the table. And there hasn't been a single person that says they thought it would be a bad idea, even if people have scoffed at it or, you know, made jokes and this, that. People are going to make fun of you in everything that you do in this life. And whether it's that people think stuff that I make is good, bad, or indifferent, that's their interpretation. And that's not for me to control. This project is a way for me to just progress forward and move that conversation forward. Give people an opportunity to talk, give people an opportunity to listen. You know, we hear about mental health often, and we talk about how it's become mainstream to talk about anxiety, depression, a lot of issues that we face on a day-to-day. In music, it's a relatively closed off thing, and there are a lot of artists that are starting to and have started to really dig into that and make it known that it's important to them and that the mental health of their fans is important to them too. And I want to explore that. I want that to be more prevalent. I want to break people out of their shell. Something that your favorite musician might feel is something that you can relate to, and it might make you have a different view of that person. It might make you appreciate them more. And sometimes watching somebody else say something or hearing that they feel it can make you accept that you feel the same way. So essentially, this is just going to be a thing that grows organically. Yeah, I have ideas and a vision and whatnot, but I don't want these to feel like interviews. I don't want them to feel, I don't want a musician to come on and me be like, "So, how'd you get your start?" Because that's questions they've answered. And in the reality and the realm of what this is supposed to be, it's not that important. What's important to me is real, open, and honest dialogue. People being themselves and feeling like they have something to share, because I feel like I do. And like I said, I don't know what this project is going to yield. I don't know what this podcast is going to evolve into. What I do know is that it feels right to do it, and it feels like the time, and it feels like the place. And admittedly, yeah, I kind of feel like a person that can do this. And I want to believe in myself. I do believe in myself, and I do believe in this project. I believe in this scene. I believe in these people, and everybody that comes on is going to be somebody that I believe in. And maybe I'll believe in them more when the episode is over. Maybe I won't know them at all, and I'll believe in them wholeheartedly by the end. But what I'm looking forward to the most is just being able to give somebody an opportunity not to feel alone, to give somebody who watches this podcast or listens to this podcast a view into somebody else's world that makes them not feel alone. You hear people say all the buzzwords, my friends call me a fortune cookie sometimes. And with the content that I make and the things that I talk about, I can understand that. Some of it sounds that way. But I believe in every single word that I say. I believe in everything that I do. And this is an important thing that I feel like I need to do. So I'm doing it, and I'm taking a chance, and I'm taking a leap. People might watch this. People might not give a shit. Who knows? But I have a good feeling about it. And I hope that you do too. And for what it's worth to anybody who watches this, I'm appreciative of the fact that you took the time to invest in your own mental health. I mean, this episode alone it's the launch. It's episode 1, but it's just me. That might not interest people, but it also might. So who knows what's going to happen? As we go through these episodes, I will divulge things about myself and be able to relate to the guests on a personal level, depending on their experiences and mine. I really see, and I believe in making a collective conscious and working together to get better and develop tools for our utility belts and have a bat signal to call somebody for help. And I want to open people up to asking for help, to recognizing that there are things that you can do to benefit you and make yourself better and stronger and more stable and more balanced. And who knows what those things will be. We'll talk about, I'm sure, meditation and practices and writing and cathartic release. And I'm sure we'll talk about anxiety and depression and the feeling of being alone and things of that nature. And those are things that we all feel. And I don't care who you are, nobody is impervious to the dangers of life or the issues and the struggles with mental health. So I hope that this podcast becomes something that is good for people. It's already something that's good for me. And I believe that this will be a way that I can give back to people. And in reality, I hope it's a way that it gives back to me too. Because doing this and being a part of it is something that's going to provide me a new experience. It's going to provide me a new challenge. It's going to force me to go outside of my own comfort zone and you know, I'm very comfortable talking to people. I'm very comfortable being a receptacle. See, I'm not fucking perfect, but being a receptacle for people to share their thoughts with me and bear who they are to me. And I honestly want this podcast to be a tool that I can bear myself a little bit. People that do know me know that I'm a relatively private person in some ways. I share some of my journey, and if you ask me a question, I'll answer you and I'll talk to you about anything. But I'm not always the first one to speak up about my own issues or my own struggles. I've gone through a lot of things in my life. I've gone through depression and I've had anxiety about certain things. I don't think that I really have general anxiety, but I have things that have triggered that and given me that. I've dealt with a lot of trauma. I've dealt with the loss of love, the loss of life, addiction, physical injury. Something that I'm sure will come out in episodes is a big health overhaul that I had in my life where I took control of my life again after losing it completely in more ways than one. And I look forward to sharing that. I look forward to talking about that. I look forward to challenging myself to do this and to hold myself accountable and to be just as honest with the people that come on and the people that listen as the people that come on are with me. So for what it's worth, know that I'm just as much of a mess as anybody else in terms of my past and even a little bit in my present, and who knows about my future. But this is something that feels good to do. And it's something I'm excited about. It's something real and tangible and just something that I believe in. You know, again, with bearing myself, I'm literally welcoming you guys into my home. And I hope that you welcome me into yours. I hope that you welcome these men and women that I bring on into yours. And I hope that we all talk, and I hope a beautiful vision that I have is, you know, somebody at a show or a festival can go up to somebody that's been on this podcast and say, "Hey, the conversation that you had when you talked about this made me feel better and helped pull me out of something." Or even if somebody does it to me, which is a crazy thought to have, but who knows? I just want to help people. I want to be here for people, and I want to give people a chance to be there for themselves too. I'm very, very much looking forward to just getting as open and honest and deep and raw and embracing the difficult things that go on in our minds. The reason that this podcast is called Musically Mindful, and the reason that mindful is spelled with two L's, is because while it's important to be mindful in life and being present in the things that are happening right in front of us, I want this podcast to fill my mind and fill your mind with positivity and ideas and lessons. I want to come out of this podcast mindfully mindful. And that's the name of my mental health page that I have online, other than this podcast, is Mindfully Mindful. And being present with ourselves and being present with each other is how we're all going to get through this, because we're all in this together. We're all the same. We're all human. And I want to be human together. And I'm excited to meet these men and women that I respect and that I appreciate, and go on a deeper level with the people that are on the other side of the guardrail, and learn just how special and important and prevalent music is for them and otherwise. And why they do what they do and how it affects them. And in turn, how that affects us. And it's just a circle. We're all human, and these guys are doing something that affects you, and how it affects you affects them. And it's just going to run in circles. And I'm really excited for the opportunity to create something special and create a community and a platform that mental health is the focus. So this was just kind of me saying hello and introducing myself and telling you guys what I'm looking to do with this, and how I think it's gonna go. Even though I don't know, but everything in life begins with one step. Whether that's backwards or forwards is up to us. So here's me taking a step forward and a leap forward, and believing in me and believing in this and believing in you and believing in the people that come on, to just help each other learn and share and become collectively focused on mental health and getting better and getting stronger and learning about each other. Like I said, what this will yield, I do not know. But I'm confident that whatever it's going to be is exciting. And for anybody who takes the time to watch this again, thank you in advance. And I say this often in the content that I make, and it's going to be part of this podcast too, is that I believe in you in every single thing you do in this life. I love you. And wherever we go from here is wherever we're supposed to. And let's do it together. Nobody needs to feel alone in this life. And I hope that this podcast helps none of us feel alone. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of this journey with me wherever it goes, and whatever it yields is exactly what it's supposed to. So moving forward, here we go into whatever this is going to be. Thank you. And I look forward to seeing you guys in many episodes, and I'm just really excited. So again, thank you. I love you. And let's strengthen our mental health together. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Take care and be well.